Ta-da!
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in Lund, Sweden. For today's video, we will be playing Day 20 of Battle for the Borderlands. Today's match will be between the Swordmasters of Hoeth and the Inner Circle Knights of the Empire. Let's go ahead and take a look at the warbands and take a look at the board. Our first warband today is the Swordmasters of Hoeth. They are led here by Meldas the Seeker, who is a Blade Lord, and he has Kragus's Pick, which gives him the armor piercing special rule, which will be really good against these heavily armored knights, along with his strength. And over here, we have two Dogs of War. One is the Regimental Standard, and the other is the Regimental Musician, so allowing us to reroll failed leadership tests, and this will give us failed route tests. In addition, they have four other great swordmen or swordmasters, and they have heavy armor for a 5+ save. Great weapons, so these will be pretty strong guys. Hopefully they'll be able to take on the armor of the knights. And for our second warband now, we have the Inner Circle Knights of the Empire using the yellow dice for today. And they are led here by our leader, Isebrand Schwerner. And nothing special for him other than just 2 wounds. Over here we have his 3 Dogs of War, and we're going to go for impact, for hard hitting here. We have the spiky shoulder plates, which give them the impact hits special rule, spiky knee pads, which give us the stomp special rule, and the blade of pressing perfection will give the AoE strikes first rule. All of these guys now have full plate armor, shield, and they're mounted, so they have a 2+ save for their armor. And of course, barding means -1 movement. And here's our 4-foot by 4-foot battlefield today, set up as a sort of abandoned city center in the Borderlands. We've got some rocks and some different bushes and foliage there, a big old ruined building in the center, and over here on the left side we have a line of trees, forest that is sort of encroaching upon the old abandoned city. So this will be what we are playing on, and let's go ahead and roll off to see who gets to deploy first. Swordmasters in blue and the Knights in yellow. So it'll be the Knights. And here we have deployment now. Pretty smart move on the side of the Empire here to take this board edge. Essentially what they have done is denied the cover of the forest to the High Elves. So that will be their line right there, facing down with some different options for going around the buildings. Deploying second now, the High Elves have decided to focus everything over into this corner along this board edge. Basically, they've given themselves some cover from those charges from that building with an option of going around either direction, but also some good cover that they can get to prevent a direct charge from coming in. Well, let's go ahead and roll off to see who begins the first turn. High Elves deployed second, so on a 1 to 5 they decide who starts, and they will decide to have themselves start. So let's go ahead and move on to High Elf turn 1. Okay, we've got no charges to declare, so let's go ahead and just march these guys up. And they're their final positions. You see Meldas is way ahead. He has a movement of 7, so he can march 14 inches. Everyone else has a 10-inch march. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna bring them up around the edge of this building. There's a very small little pass here that's gonna be difficult for them to get through. Otherwise, we've got good protection over on this side. We'll just hold down here and see what the Empire does. Let's move on now to Empire turn 1. Okay, we've got no charges to declare here either, so we are going to try to position these guys by marching them into at least a little bit closer to those Swordmasters. Okay, the High Elf strategy seems to be working now because we have split our group into 2. We've got these 2 here facing down that side, and we're going to send these 2 through the middle right there. No shooting, no combat, so that's the end of that turn. Let's run over here to Swordmaster turn 2. All right, let's go ahead and bring these guys up here. We're gonna march them up here, keep them out of the forward charge range arc of those other High Empire folks, and let's pull this guy out of the charge range, put him here, put this guy here, Actually, we'll put him up here, and this guy will move him up. There we go. More defensive movement, but that's about all we can do at this point. Let's give it the turn over now to the Empire. Turn 2. Charges to declare. As you can see, that movement by the Swordmasters was good because our leader no longer has a line of sight, so he cannot make a charge. This guy, however, does have a line of sight, so we're going to go ahead and charge from him over here onto our leader. There we go, and our leader will hold. Here we go, swift stride, and 10 inches plus his movement, no problem. So he will come crashing in here, connecting with the leader. Dangerous terrain test because of that bush that he has to go through. And that is a 2, so he is fine. Remaining moves, let's go ahead and bring this guy right over here, which will keep him outside of the average charge range of that guy, but it will still leave him within the line of sight. All right, the rest of these remaining moves, I mean, we really do have a game of chess going on here. We're gonna take these guys and slide them over here, march them their full movement, and leave them here outside of the average charge range of those Swordmasters. So we'll put them there, and hopefully the Swordmasters, if they charge, will fail, and we'll get to have a counter charge. So let's take us now over to our combat, and here is the only combat we have right now. Okay, this is an interesting combat because this guy has the Blade of Prescient Perfection, which gives him the always strikes first rule. But because he's charging now, we want to use the lance to give him extra strength. So we won't use that hand weapon just now. So he's going to charge in with his spear. This guy always strikes first, but he has a great weapon, so that cancels out. Has a higher initiative, so the high elf will begin anyway. So 3 attacks now, hitting on 3s. And there are 2 hits. Oh, using the wrong dice here, so here we go. Wounding on 4s. No, that's a 2 and a 3, so no wounds. Coming back first with the knight, wounding on a 4, no. And the steed also on a 4, there's a hit. Wounding on a 4, no. So that is the end of that combat and the end of the Empire turn. Let's run over here now and turn us over to game turn 3, High Elves. Charges to declare. Let's go ahead and charge in here, cannot miss. And let's charge in here as well, cannot miss. So we've got 3 in combat. We'll just leave him where he is for now. So we've got 3 in combat now. All right, let's run over to these guys, and they have successfully baited us, so let's go ahead and make some charges here. We'll send this guy into there, that guy into there, and we'll send this 3rd guy into, let's put him into here as well. And they will hold. So let's roll these out now. This first guy here, a 5, no, he's going to fail. This guy, an 8, yes, he will make it, and this 3rd guy, with a 9, he will make it as well. So that is how that one will look when they have all made their charges, and this guy, of course, has failed. Let's go into combat. Let's start over here with these 2 right away. Okay, starting out with this combat right here, we've got 2 attacks, hitting on 3s, no, but wounding now on a 2, got it. All right, the armor save because of the strength is reduced to a 4+. This is huge. And he gets it with a 4. All right, the knight coming back hitting on a 4, no. And the steed hitting on a 4, yes, and wounding on a 4. There is a wound, a 5+ save. Doesn't get it. So this guy goes down, which means we need to take a leadership test here. Leadership of 8, he is fine. Okay, with that, we lost our musician. That's pretty huge. Let's run over here now and take this combat. 2 attacks on 3s. There's 1. And that is a wound. 4+ save, here we go, we need this. And he gets it as well. Coming back now, hitting on a 4 with the knight. And that's a miss. The steed is gonna be hitting on a 4, no. So that finishes off that combat. Let's run over here to the other side and take this next combat here. All right, let's run to this combat now. We're gonna use our hand weapon, the Blade of Prescient Perfection, which means he gets to strike first, which is gonna be huge here. So let's go ahead and attack the leader. We're gonna be hitting now on a 4, yeah. And wounding on a 3, no. The horse has lower initiative, so we'll go ahead now to our Swordmasters. Total of 6 attacks now, here we go, 6 attacks. We're gonna be hitting on 3s, and there are 5. Wounding on 2s, and we got 4 there. 2+ is now to a 4+, and saves to fails too, so that guy goes down. This is enormous because that drops them below their breaking point, which means they will have to take a test now, the Empire, in the start of their next turn. And actually, I'm doing the math wrong. There's 4 of them, so they actually have to lose 1 more to do the route test, so they're fine. That means it brings us to the end of the turn for the High Elves, though. Let's move on to turn 3 for the Empire. Charges to declare. Let's try this again. All right, we got our leader. Send him into that general leader. They're going to hold. Swift stride, 9, no problem. So he will come crashing in like that. And second over here, we're going to charge into this guy. Cannot miss. We'll leave that guy to make that charge later. So there we go. We got 2 of those guys on that combo. All right, let's start with the elf who has higher initiative. Let's attack here. So this guy can't get his charge benefit there. So let's go 2 attacks. We're going to be hitting now on 3s. So there are 2 hits and wounding on 2s. So there are 2 wounds and we have a 4+ save. Here we go, 4+. And he makes 1 and fails 1. So this guy is going to go down. Wow, imagine this, just sort of nailed by the sword in the mid-stride as he comes into combat, and boom, gone. All right, we're going to have this knight now attacking here. We're going to be hitting on a 4, wounding on a 3. Yeah, 5+ save. Are we going to be trading 1 for 1 here? 5+ save? No. So this guy, boom, also goes down. And this guy's within range here, so he'll have to roll for a panic test. Insane courage. He's sticking around. Incredibly close game here so far. Let's run over here to this next combat. Starting out with our Swordmasters here, we've got 6 attacks. This is going to be brutal, I think. We're going to be hitting now on 3s. Oh, and look at this. We miss 4 attacks. Oof, wounding on 2s. We got 2 of them. Coming back now, we've got a 4+ save. Here we go. No, he misses both. So with that, this guy is done. We will remove him off the battlefield, which means there's only 1 knight left. This is going to be a pretty brutal ending, I think. And with that, we'd bring us over here to game turn 4. And here's how things stand now. I think what we would end up doing here is just take this guy and move him, march him back over here, which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys over there. Our banner's still there. We are above our breaking point. The knights are way over here, 1 guy left by himself. He is below the breaking point, so they will have to take test after test after test as they try to chase us down, at which point we pile in with 5 Swordmasters, 10 attacks. I think it's pretty good that we can just end the game here and say that this guy routs and takes off the battlefield. So congratulations, Swordmasters of Hoeth. Your powerful attacks were able to break through the Empire armor that many other warbands have had trouble with. So there we go. Congratulations, Swordmasters of Hoeth. Okay, time to roll on our upgrade chart for our Blade Lord leader here, Meldas the Seeker. Let's go ahead and roll this out. That's a 9 + 2, 11. So an 11 will be True Grit. Your leader gains either +1 strength or +1 toughness. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and give them +1 toughness. So we'll make them toughness 4. With that victory, the Swordmasters now move on to round 4, in which they will take on the winner of the game between the White Lions and the Saurus Warriors. That game between the White Lions and Saurus Warriors will be the next game, so please do tune in to see how that turns out. Thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.